Tafoya. If you don't know who I am, that is my name. Welcome to my podcast. What? Yes, I know everybody and their mother has a podcast nowadays. So adding to the list of people is definitely not the best, but I have the microphone. I have my equipment and I was like, let me just do this for fun. So I actually already recorded, I guess, an episode before this. So technically, I guess this could be episode 2, but this is probably gonna be episode 1. I do not know yet if this is episode 1 or episode 2 because as I said, I already recorded one yesterday. And that one was really just keeping it real. Like I really just came into it with no expectations of anything, and I really much enjoyed it. But I feel like I talked about some of the most random things and the most boring things that I feel like that as an episode, as my first episode, would not be the best thing to put out first, because there is in no way whatsoever any sort of really entertainment. I mean, it was entertaining for me. It was entertaining for me, and it might be for some of y'all. So if you guys want that episode, if you wanna hear the true first episode of this podcast, which I still don't have a name for. I'm thinking of names, still do not have a name. Maybe by the time this comes out, I will have already decided on name, but for now, I still do not know. I am playing around with the idea of cut the mic or cut the mics, because I feel like that's a good name, but like I have to make sure that that is available and nobody else has that as a podcast name. But yeah, so I already recorded an episode, as I said, and to sum it up, basically, the true first episode was me rambling on about the most random things. I talked a little bit about politics in there, which is also why I wanted to not put that one out as my first episode, because it's crazy times right now, and I just want people to find something to enjoy, get their minds off things, and not worry too much. I mean, we should worry, but when you put this podcast on, I want you to get your mind off things for a little bit. You know, have a conversation with me. If you're driving, if you are sitting around at home, if you're reading a book, or just doing your normal day to day, I want you to have a good time while you're listening to this. So, which is one reason why I did not want to put that out as my first episode. Secondly, I listened back to it last night while I was going to bed, and I talked a little too much about matcha. So, to basically sum it up, I'm a huge matcha lover. And I went on in that recording for what felt like almost 30 minutes, even close to 40 probably, of me just talking about matcha, about my journey of liking matcha, about how I found this new matcha, all this crazy stuff. To sum it all up, Nami Matcha is the way to go. Miss Ashley Alexander, she has the best matcha. But that's about it for this episode of me talking about matcha, because I talked a lot about matcha on the other one. I talked a little bit about myself and about where I'm at right now, in literally where I'm sitting at right now recording this. Not where I'm at like emotionally or mentally or anything, but right now I am sitting in my room. I'm just chill in my sweatpants, in my shirt, obviously. What the? I'm so dumb. Anyways, I'm comfortable sitting down on my bed right now in my room. And I basically just kind of did like a little tour of my room, talking about the things on my walls, the setup of my room. But I figured, in a way, I guess that's interesting, but not interesting enough to talk about it for another 30 minutes. That episode was about like an hour and 10 minutes long. It was just random stuff. But yeah, so I mean these episodes will be random stuff. I'll be talking about my daily life. I'll probably be recording an episode. I'll try to record an episode every week and get it up every week. Um that is if I decide to put this up, because I'm still like I'm still on the whether I not put this up. But by the looks of it right now, I kind of do want to. So yeah, I guess let's start off this episode by some stuff that's been going on this week. The weekly happenings. Let's call this segment weekly happenings, or yeah, that's all I can think of. That would be fun, having little segments. I'll probably, by the next time you hear me, by the next time an episode comes up, I'll probably have definitely a more uniform segment. I don't know what I'm saying. Basically just a little bit more put together than the other episode I recorded and then this one. But I did write a couple of things down on my notes app about things that I wanted to talk about. And first and foremost, this week has been hell car wise. Oh my goodness. So let's start the week by, this week, I'm recording this on Tuesday, January 21st. By this week, I mean the week that just passed by. To start it all off, I was driving, let's set the scene. I was driving on the highway, on the interstate, and I was on my way to go eat Korean barbecue with my sister and her husband. And I was so excited. So excited that I had a dream the night before about me going to said place with said people. And the dream was sort of a nightmare because the dream went bad, which should have been a sign as to what was going to happen the next day, honestly. But I was on my way and driving like normal. I start hearing some sounds, like crackling sounds. I'm like, what is going on? And I disregarded it. I turned my music up just a little bit. And again, I hear a louder crackling sound. I'm like, what is going on? So not even like a minute after that second loud crackling sound, the whole back of my car is just flying behind me. Like, I'm talking back bumper, the side of it was just insane. I have pictures of that day, and it's like me holding my back bumper because it just fully detached from the back of my car. I still to this moment do not know what happened. If it at first we thought, because so I was on my way. I was separate, and my sister and her husband were in a separate car, but they were like 20 minutes behind me. So I called them. I'm like, hey, I'm on the shoulder of the road of the interstate, and the back of my car is missing off my car. Like, it's still attached to my car, but it's not where it's supposed to be. For sure, it's not where it's supposed to be. So I call them, and I wait for them to get there. And we thought that maybe I got a car hit me on the, like, rear-ended me or something. Or what do you call it? Oh my gosh, that's not what you say. Oh my gosh. How do you call that? I forgot what it's called. But we thought that a car hit me and I didn't notice, but if a car would have hit me, they would have had to hit me really hard for the whole back of my car to fall off. I would have felt that. I didn't feel a car hit me. So we thought that was it, but it was not. Just somehow the screws and all the stuff connecting the bumper and the backside of my car were just loosening up little by little as I drove. So Um, we called the police because I mean we were gonna do like a police report because what if somebody like hit me? I didn't know, but police got there. They were like, we can't do a report because you're not sure that we can't do it off guess. Basically, we were like, okay, whatever, bye. They left. So me and my brother-in-law just ripped off the bumper and taped. We taped my car. We had to get off on the exit closest and we taped my car at a McDonald's. So right now my car is it's running. It's just it's holding on by some tape on the back. Not we took the bumper off so my car doesn't have a back bumper. It doesn't look horrible though because like it's the bottom bumper, so it's like it's not like horrible. There is a scratch, but that is from where like it was flying. It's a mess, guys. It's really a mess, but it's taped together. So and my dad went in and screwed some screws on there, so it's tight and it's sealed. So if you're driving behind me, do not be scared that it will come off. It is sealed very tightly. It's just we need to go get that fixed because I do not want to be driving around with my car covered in tape. But yeah, so that happened and then the next day for some reason I was driving. It was like a hour drive from where I live. I was going to this class at a different campus because my college that I go to, I'm in college by the way. This is my second semester in college. I am majoring in architecture. Just I talked about that on the original first episode just for like a couple minutes as well, but I didn't say it this time. But yeah, so I go to college, but the college I go to basically has multiple campuses and one of my classes I'm taking was going to be at a different campus. The campus is like an hour away. I drove over there and we went to eat with some friends from the class afterwards. And on the way to the place that we were going to go eat, my car just starts noises going off inside. I'm like, what now? Something about my oil pressure being low now, and I was like, what? Why? Just something about cars, and it's crazy. Just so y'all can get an idea of my history, if you don't know me personally, a couple years ago, I with my first car I had, I was driving back home from work. It was late at night, and a tree fell on me and freaking totaled my car. I am very well, thankfully. That is what matters. But a tree, it was raining outside, thundering, full wind, everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so scary. I was driving really slow and out of nowhere, tree just falls on me, branches everywhere, glass all over my face and my mouth. It was a nightmare. That just basically sets the tone for me and cars. And yeah, so that light went off. My car, something about engine oil. Um, my dad checked it. It's okay now, but something about me and cars is just not clicking, apparently. I'm currently drinking this Olipop. It's quite delicious. It's the flavor crisp apple. If you are trying to find like a healthier version of soda, Olipop is where it's at. I think people say Poppy as well is really good too. I tried one flavor once. I think it was like the raspberry. I don't remember what it was. I personally don't like raspberry, which is probably why I didn't like it, if that was a flavor. But Olipop is really good. The crisp apple flavor and the strawberries and cream flavor. I think that's what it is. Or strawberry something. It is really, really good. I definitely recommend. I'm drinking this right now. I actually came up with that's where the topic of matcha came yesterday. I got thirsty. I took a sip of water and my matcha was right there. I had a matcha and I just went off on a rant. And I'm doing it again. I'm going on a rant about matcha. Anyways, yeah, so cars, drinks, and let's talk a little about travel because I feel like that's one of my biggest things about this year is travel. Will I travel? Maybe not. With school and me starting a new job, I'm starting a new job, by the way. Very, very exciting. Um, if you do not know me, again, I worked at a grocery store for almost 3 years. 3 years, guys, since the end of sophomore year. Ugh, it wasn't a horrible job. I got to work with friends, so it made up for that. But being at doing customer service stuff related customer service related things and checking out people and all this stuff for almost 3 years is very exhausting and draining, especially when people like to complain. It makes the day worse. Sorry, I had to take a sip of my Olipop. Not sponsored, by the way. But I Olipop, if you want to sponsor me, definitely hit me up. I love y'all's drinks. Um, what was I saying? Oh, about the about job, about job, about the job. Yeah. So I'm starting my new job. I worked at a grocery store for almost 3 years. I quit the day I went into work and I said, today's my last day. I am done. I did not do 2 weeks notice. Sorry, not sorry. I was going on vacation. I went on vacation to Mexico with my family for almost a month. Um, we went for like Christmas and New Year's, and it was so fun. And if I would have not quit my grocery store job, I would have not been able to go because they were not going to give me a whole month off. So, yeah, so I left the job and I came back and I found my friend Daniela. Thank you, Daniela, if you're listening to this. Thank you for helping me get this job. She works at this new place where I'm starting, and she was like, "Hey, you should come work with me. It's they pay good, and and after training, I can choose to work from home, which is amazing." So I was like, "Yeah, of course, I am applying." So yeah, I applied, and thanks to her reference and stuff, I got the job. I had my interview and everything. Everything went well. I actually went to go do my drug test today. I passed, guys. Yes, I passed. I do not do any of those things. So yeah. Um, but yeah. Oh, travel. So I want to travel this year. By travel, I do not mean maybe yes in the country. Would be easier, but if it's in the country, it would probably be New York. I want to go to New York so freaking bad. Okay, here's the states. New York City, Colorado. I want to go to Colorado so freaking bad. It is so beautiful there. So that would be definitely top spot if I traveled in the country. I want to personally travel out of the country. Top 3 places I want to go. For spring break, I really want to go to Italy. Oh my goodness. It is beautiful. Well, I do not know personally because I have not went. But I get TikTok. Oh my goodness. I keep thinking of one thing and then I think of another and I just completely get sidetracked. Hold the thought on Italy. Let's talk about TikTok for 5 seconds because we got played like little children, guys. Yeah, I days before the ban was happening, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is going to happen. It's actually happening." The day before the ban, I went to, well, actually it was the day that it went dark. I went to Best Buy and I bought a USB drive and I downloaded my liked TikToks on there because I was like, I am not losing these valuable TikToks. These are amazing TikToks. All of my liked TikToks are amazing. I did not want to lose them. I had 100,000 liked TikToks. Unfortunately, I only got 2,000 and something saved on there because while I was doing that, TikTok went dark and they took it away from us. And we got that message. We all got, the message saying that for the time being we were not gonna have TikTok. And I was like, what the hell? Why? Why? Well, we got played, woke up next morning. Apparently TikTok is back. I was like, what the heck? I opened it up. I saw that message we got though about who bringing it back. I was like, oh hell no. No. And it's sold to that company that we all know about. No. So I am not on TikTok. I actually am on Red Note now. I got Red Note like a week before everything happened. So like last week, not this last week, the week before last week. I got Red Note. I've been on there for a little bit. It's amazing. It is so freaking good. I got this Red Note the other day. It was like POV me on Red Note, and it was like a beautiful scenery, green. The sun is out. It's just a different vibe on there, guys. Like, truly, it feels so good on there because there's no toxicity on there like there is on TikTok nowadays. Everything on TikTok is just makes you feel bad now. So I'm not on TikTok anymore, but I am on Red Note. So if you want to follow me on Red Note, I will probably link my Red Note now from now on instead of TikTok. I probably will still use TikTok now and then. If there's like some crazy trend happening and I want to be a part of it, I'll probably click on it. But right now, I replaced where my TikTok app was at on my phone, where I usually click on it, with my Red Note app. And I hid TikTok on where my normal apps go. So anyways, I don't even know how I got on that topic. Oh, I was saying about Italy, how I've never went to Italy, but I've seen TikToks about Italy and how pretty it is during the spring and summer. Basically you live out your Call Me by Your Name summer, your Luca summer. I want to live that, even though I want to go during spring break, because I plan on taking some classes during summer. Yeah, bummer. Yeah, kind of boring, but I need to if I want to graduate on time. But yeah, so for like spring break, I want to try to go to Italy, and then in some time, squeeze some time in the year, I so badly want to go to Tokyo, Japan. I want to go so freaking bad. And when I say Tokyo or Japan in general, yes, I do mean the city, Tokyo, but I also mean the countryside. It is so freaking beautiful. I want to live out my Studio Ghibli dream. It's on a different level. Honestly, any country besides the United States right now is better, in my opinion. If the fastest I can get out of here and finish my education here and whatever, the happier I will be, probably, because I fear that this country is just going downhill. Anyways, let's not get political. But yeah, so travel Italy, Tokyo, Italy, Japan. I kind of do. I also want to go to Canada. One of my goals that I've had for the longest time is that at some point I want to live in Canada for a while and obtain my residency and then eventually obtain my citizenship. Because I am already, obviously I'm an American citizen, born here, born in this place. But and then since my parents are Mexican born, but they moved here and they are legal residents here, but since they are born in Mexico, I naturally and legally have my Mexican citizenship. So all I have to do, and this goes for if you are Mexican and you are listening to this podcast and your parents are Mexican citizens, you naturally, birthright, have, even if you weren't born in Mexico and even if you've never stepped a foot in Mexico, I believe, do not take my word for that. I don't know if you've never stepped foot in Mexico, you probably can. But if your parents are Mexican born, and I think both parents have to be. So if you're half American, half Mexican, or half any other race and half Mexican, I think it has to be both parents. but you legally and as a birthright have your Mexican citizenship. All you have to do is you have to go to like an embassy, a Mexican embassy, and I think you can also do this on the Mexican side, just to claim your Mexican citizenship, and you can be a dual. You can have your dual citizenship. Be a dual. I don't forget. Me trying to sound smart and I don't know the name. You basically have both of your citizenship cards. So you'll have be an American citizen, Mexican citizen. If worse comes to worse, you can flee the country to Mexico and live in Mexico, because Mexico is honestly getting so much better, guys. It is so it's they're putting their hard work over there right now. Sorry, I had to drink some more Olipop. Yeah, so you can do that. And what was I saying that? Oh, about one of my goals. So yeah, so I want to get my Canadian citizenship, and then if I do that, I could have a triple threat, guys. I'll have 3 citizenships. But yeah, so travel, as I said, Italy, Japan, Canada, where else? Iceland. Oh my goodness. So I love the artist Leve. She her music is just top tier, guys. It's so good. On the first episode I recorded, I did talk a little about my music taste. To simplify, no, to summarize in a couple words, my music taste: Taylor Swift. If you know me personally, you know I will go on and on, days and days, weeks and weeks, talking about Taylor Swift. I will not do that here. However, maybe we can have one episode dedicated to Taylor Swift. I bet no one is going to listen to that, because out of all the people that I know, I am me and Miss Kate Mizraini, the person, my friend that I went to the Eras tour with, and Alana. Us 3. I didn't go to the Eras tour with Alana, but Alana is one of our friends as well. Us 3, I think, out of all the people I know, are the only ones that like Taylor Swift like we do. And so, anyways, yes, I love Taylor Swift. I love Leve, Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, Kali Uchis, Lana Del Rey, Lorde, Biba Dubi, Gracie Abrams, who else? Casey Musgraves, Marina, Olivia Rodrigo, Ash. I already said Leve, I think. I've said her like 5 times. Adele, oh my gosh, I'm so freaking mad I never got to go to her residency. Yeah, Adele, Conan Gray, Sabrina Carpenter as well. Melanie Martinez. There are so many artists that I love. Rosalia, Natalia Lafourcade, Doja Cat, Caroline Polachek. I could go on and on and on, but the top ones are definitely Leve, Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, Gracie Abrams, B, Ash. But yeah, so I want to go to Iceland, which is where Leve is from, and it's just so freaking beautiful there. Like, yes, there's an active volcano right beside the capital city, Reykjavik. I think that's how you pronounce it, and I think that's the capital city, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. But that's the city I want to go to, is Reykjavik. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, capital of Iceland, Reykjavik. But it's so beautiful there. It's like in the mountains, but then there's like an active volcano nearby. And just the architecture there, and it's just so beautiful. So that's definitely another spot I want to travel to eventually. I actually was talking about that with my dad, but it was during the summer that we were talking about, because the flights there were super cheap a couple of months ago, and we were like, we actually wanted to go for his birthday, but it just never went through. But I definitely want to try to go there someday. Where else are some good spots? Definitely, if you are listening to this somewhere where you can comment, you should definitely comment down your top travel spots that you wish you want to travel to um at some point in your life. Um in the US, the states I've traveled to, where have I okay, so I went to Texas. I've passed through Mississippi, passed through Louisiana, but I've never stopped there, like dedicated myself. Well, we've stopped there for like a couple, like while we're driving by, but never like to stay there. Um, I've went to Georgia, obviously Atlanta. Um, I've went to I can't remember if it was South or North Carolina. One of the Carolinas. It was from my cousin's graduation from Marine camp. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was South Carolina. I went to one of the Carolinas. I've gone to Tennessee multiple times. I love going to Tennessee, specifically, obviously, Nashville. I love going to Nashville so freaking much. Um, about concerts, if you know me as well, you know I love, 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 love concerts. It is my most favorite thing to do. Any chance I get to buy tickets to go see somebody live, I will take that chance and go. And it's usually either in Atlanta or Nashville. Between the two, I prefer Nashville. It just feels a little more safe. I prefer Nashville, obviously, because it's like music center there. But I prefer Nashville. It's so pretty over there. So yeah, I went to Nashville. I went to Arkansas and Kentucky. Where else have I gone? Florida. Obviously Florida. Florida, yes. I went to Florida as well. The beach. Beach. But I think that's all the places I've traveled to. I would like to go to California. It's not one of my it's not on my list high up of places I want to go. Because I know my family, because before we moved to where we live right now, should I say where the state? Yeah, Alabama. Anyways, it's not a bad state, but it has this reputation. Um, Before we moved here to Alabama, I still wasn't born, but my family used to live in California, and so I know they have the wants to go back and visit where they used to live, like the areas where they used to live, because we still have a lot of family in California. So we would have a reason to go over there, but it's not in my top priorities. If my family decides to go, obviously I will tag along. But if they decide to go to New York, I would be more than happy to go. They will not though. My family's not the city type of people. They prefer more not in the city. I on the other hand, I love the city. Um but yeah, so it's not really on the top of my priority list to go to California, but I would if the chance comes up, then yeah, of course I would. I think those are like my top places for travel. Some honorary mentions: Hawaii. I would like to go there. Definitely would like to go there. Australia. I'm just scared of the insects. I cannot stand insects, spiders, snakes, all that stuff. That's my only thing about that, about Australia. Ooh, Spain, España. Um, I would love to go to España. Madrid, España, or Barcelona, or Barcelona, how they say. Ooh, okay, wait, catch me speaking español. So yeah, so maybe Spain. That would be nice. I watched a YouTuber that recently they're from South Korea. And South Korea would also be a spot I would want to hit. Like Seoul, South Korea. That would be nice. Um they're from South Korea, but they recently moved to Spain, to Madrid. I'm sure they moved to, I think it was Madrid. And it looks so pretty. Like it looks really pretty. So definitely Spain. Um, England is just too gloomy. I would give it a chance, but it looks just so like it looks like there's just gray skies 24/7, honestly. But it does look pretty. The architecture is pretty. So maybe like England, the UK, um ooh, Switzerland would be a nice spot. Switzerland or yeah, really probably Switzerland. That's they have like the Swiss Alps. That oh yeah. I okay, here's the thing. I love the city, but I also love a nice looking aesthetic countryside. You know? Like I feel like y'all know what I'm talking about when I talk about like aesthetic looking countrysides. Like stuff like that, like the mountains and stuff. That would be really really pretty as well. Where else would be nice spots? Um I don't know. I feel like those are like the main spots I would want to travel to. So that's definitely a priority for this year. Um, I'm not the biggest about setting like start of the year or New Year's resolution like goals and stuff. I try. I've tried a couple years to like cuz I love to journal. I talked a little bit about this on this the 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 first cut of this podcast, the episode I recorded before about how I love journaling and I love writing. Um I make music. So I write music, I sing, I play my guitar, I put music out. I have music on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you listen to music, I am there. So if you want to listen, if you don't already know this, if you want to listen to my music, you should definitely take a listen. I just put out a song a couple months ago. I have an album out. It's pretty amateur if I'm being honest because the album at least is because at that time when I was working on it, I still did not have a lot of the equipment that I have now. So like my audio interface that I bought recently, these new mics that I've bought, um there's just lots of equipment that my MIDI keyboard, stuff like that. There's lots of stuff that I bought recently that at the time I did not have. So the quality of music is definitely getting better, guys. But I have been working on some new songs and some new projects. So definitely keep an eye out on that. So if you want to listen to my music, it's just my name, Leo Tafoya, everywhere where you listen to music. Um but yeah, so I was saying I love writing and journaling. So like when it comes to New Year's resolutions and stuff like that, yeah, I jot down a couple things about like overall what I want to see from myself more this year, like things that I tried to accomplish last year that just I never got around to, or habits that I want to work on a little more this year that I did not acknowledge the year before. But for the most part, I'm not that big on doing like resolutions. But one thing that I did really emphasize this year, because I did a little journal entry on New Year's Eve, um, well, actually, I did it. It was already New Year's Day. I did it because I was in Mexico during for New Year's on vacation. So I did it after the countdown. Obviously it was New Year's, but it was like probably like 1 in the morning right before I went to bed. But I did emphasize on travel. And the thing about me when I journal, I like to write and I do not read what I write back. So like I write it down and I just don't ever read it back, only if I stumble upon that journal at some point again. So I have lots of journals, and um once I fill them up, I store them in a little spot, and occasionally when I'm cleaning, I find them. So I read my old journal entries, but in the moment when they're fresh and recent from like that year or for that month, I usually don't go back and read them because I like to write it down, get it off my mind, and let it sit there. Because I feel like that's what journaling is for, to help you get things off of your mind, relieve, um release that stress that you have in your head, in your mind, in your body onto a sheet of paper. So I typically don't read it back. But for that New Year's one, I wrote it and I did read it back, and I was like, this is pretty good. Travel, um, definitely. This one's like old, for old time's sake. Like everybody, I feel like this is almost everybody's New Year's goals is get a little bit more fit, be a little bit more healthy, which I have been doing, and I really was working on that towards the end of the year, this past year that just went by. Um Before I went on vacation, I would go on a run every single day of the week. And I felt good. It was amazing. I Once we came back, I have not done that one because it is freezing cold outside. Oh my gosh, it is so freaking cold. Plus, we also got snow a couple days, was it days ago, like a week ago. We got some snow, so it's definitely not temperatures outside to be going out and running right now. Unless you're crazy and you're really dedicated, yes, I get it. But I want to get instead a gym membership. I will do that after I start working. And I might get that paycheck. But it's gonna be a matter of me finding time in the day, which it's a priority, so definitely it's gonna end up in my schedule, but I'm gonna have to find a routine that works best for me, because this new job I do have is a 9 to 5 job, so really 8 to 5 job. So I'm going into like that, typical job life style, corporate style life, of working, which I'm not used to. At my grocery store job I used to work at, I would work 3 days a week, which might sound crazy to some of y'all, but I mean, I had that job during high school, and then in high school I was in band, and I had practices. I did winter guard, so there was lots of things going on in my life school wise that working 3 days out of the week made sense for me. The only thing was that I worked on weekends, which sucked. Now with this job, I have weekends off, which is amazing. And the most I would get a week was probably like 18 hours, which it was a part-time job, but that is less than part-time if I'm not mistaken. So my paychecks weren't huge, and I honestly didn't get paid very well at that job. So, which is another reason why I left. But I would work Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And Wednesdays were only for 4 hours, which was not a lot. So which I could have, once I graduated, I definitely could have changed my availability to more days, but I got so used to that schedule that I just never changed it. So now that I'm starting this new job, and I have college, I have classes, I have other things that are extracurricular that involve my school, because I'm part of like clubs and organizations at my college that require hours, like work hours and stuff. So finding the time to squeeze some gym hours in there is going to be difficult, but we'll find it. Actually, weekends. I could do weekends. Even though that would basically I would be doing, I wanted weekends off, but I mean, whatever. We can squeeze some time in for the gym. So if you know me and you wanna go to the gym together, let's go to the gym. Let's get fit for 2025. Ew. What am I saying? Ew. No, but yeah, so that's like one of the things that I had was travel, fitness, and just overall productivity, because I'm very good, and as many of us are, at procrastinating. We procrastinate a lot. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're amazing at getting things done on time. Or, for example, right now, I have homework for a class. Have I done it? Not yet. Am I going to do it? Yeah, I have to, because it's due tomorrow. But I procrastinate so much to the point where if I have an assignment or something to do, I wait till the very last second. Obviously, which is the definition of procrastination, in the summary, is waiting till the very last second to do things. But I wait till the very last second and I end up stressed. But honestly, sometimes I feel like I work better under that stress, knowing that I only have a certain amount of time to do it. I put in more effort than if I did it the second I got that assignment. I feel like I wouldn't put in the same amount of effort to that assignment because I'd be like, "Oh, it's not due till then, so I can take my time working on it." Like I guess that's a form of procrastination, but I mean like starting on it from when I get it and working on it every single day till the due date, you know? Yes, I guess in theory that would mean that the assignment would be so much better because you've been working on it for so long. But I feel like the best of my ideas come to me when I am on a time crunch, when I am in that pressure of the moment to get it done. That's when I get the best ideas. Personally, that is just me. I don't know about a lot of people. Maybe it's the complete opposite for some of you. Maybe some of you are like that. You like to, the second you get the assignment, you want to get it done so that you have the rest of the time free and you're worry free that you don't have to do anything else. I am the opposite. I want to work on that this year. I want to not necessarily be the type where I work on it the second I get it, but maybe get it, wait one day, I'll work on it the next day, but not at the very last second. Sorry, I'm a little full right now. I just got done eating. I actually cooked dinner tonight. I after I came back, after I went to run my errands, I stopped by at Target and I got some ingredients and I cooked dinner tonight. I made like almost like a Korean barbecue type situation. I bought and I'm tired apparently. I got I got like the steak to the beef to make the beef bulgogi, and I made like white rice, and I also made like sort of like a little noodle situation, like a little teriyaki noodle situation. Um, what else did I? Kimchi, some lettuce leaves so that you can like make little wraps with the rice and beef bulgogi, some cucumber. It was just a little like setup. It was like, and I put it all in the middle and I just let my family dig in and we all ate. It was very delicious. Oh, and I made a little like a little miso broth. Wait 1 second. Okay. I had to take another sip of my drink. Um yeah, I made like a little miso broth. So it was like a whole little situation there. It was very delicious, but I am very full. That's how you know that it was really good. Um but yeah, so I just lost my train of thought. I was talking about what was I was talking about the food. Oh, about the procrastination thing and all that stuff. Yeah, so that's another goal for 2025. Yeah, again, if you have any goals set for yourself, comment down below. Let's see what all of our goals are, you know? Um let's see what we have planned for this year. Um it's definitely been a rough start already. We started the year with those wildfires in LA, which are super tragic. Just it's really sad seeing all of that happen, and just seeing the whole entire city of the Palisades just burn down. Like that was it's in the moment for like me personally being over here all the way here in Alabama, and I have family that lives over there. Um Seeing that is worrying, you know? Like I mean, it's really sad, and a part of me felt like almost like useless because like I mean, I can't just fly over there. I don't have that convenience of just, flying over there and physically helping out, and like I know a lot of people that um that went to like community centers and helped out, packaging things and doing all this stuff. And so I personally I helped I I donated some money to, those like local um fundraisers that they started for like fire departments and fire relief and stuff like that, because I mean that's the most that I could personally do. um Unlike, some people that have the chance of, going out there and helping out, I would have loved to go and help, because whenever I love being part of community and helping other people out. If you know me, if the chance comes up to help out, I am there to help out with whatever's going on. So it's definitely really sad to see all of that happening. um so yeah, so we started the year off with pretty rough with all that stuff going on, and then TikTok, so sad. And honestly, now the presidency, I'm not gonna get into that, as I said, but yeah, if you know me, you know my opinion on all that. But I did also, on the original first episode that I recorded, I talked a little bit about my friends. I love my friends. I have two very special friends that maybe I could bring them on here someday as a little special guest. That would be fun. Let me know if y'all would be interested in me having special guests to add a little more dynamic to the podcast. So it's not just me and my annoying voice talking the whole time. So that you have other people talking as well. But yeah, my two very special best friends, I love them so much. I love them so much. Megan and Macy. Um so Megan I met in middle school, and we became friends in middle school, all throughout high school, and now that we've graduated, we stuck together, and I love her so much. We worked together at the grocery store where I worked at. She is still there. So she's still standing strong with the company. Um but and then Macy Boo, Macy Babe, she I met her from work. So I started working there. I met her. She worked customer service, and we left during the same time from working there, except she put in her 2 weeks. She did what a normal, reasonable person would do, unlike me, where I just quit on the spot. But I met her because of work, and we became really close, and we are still really close. I consider her one of my closest friends as well. So they're like my two like tight knit friends that I if they need anything ever at all, and if you're listening to this, Macy or Megan, if y'all know that if y'all ever need absolutely anything, I am always here for y'all. So I love them so much. I talked a little bit about them on the first original episode I recorded. So I wanted to talk to them a little talk to them. I wanted to talk about them a little bit here, give them, their little a moment of spotlight, because they deserve it so much. They've been there for me. I've been there for them, and we just I have so much respect for them. They're so strong, both of them are, and um just seeing them grow and move on in their lives, every little step they take, seeing things they accomplish is always so, even though it's just so it feels like so rewarding to me, because it's like they're accomplishing things, which makes me so happy to see them do that. But yeah, just give them a little shout out. And here's the thing, I talked about this yesterday when I recorded that. I keep mentioning that episode. I might as well just upload it someday. But I was talking a little bit about this because I have this book. That's another goal for this year, reading a little more. I want to read more. I want to get more into books. I've tried. I never accomplish it. We're going to do it this year, hopefully. But I have this little book that is full of quotes and poems and just little, it's a poetry book basically. It's called Homebody by Rupi Kaur. Rupi Kaur. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But it's filled with a lot of little inspirational poetry, and it's such a fun, rewarding treat to look through it. I have so many pages bookmarked um with lots of poetry that I resonate with a lot. And occasionally I like to pick it up and I flip through it and randomly stop at a page and I read the page. And sometimes it just correlates with what I'm going through so deeply. So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. But this didn't necessarily correlate with what I was going through, but it kind of went along with the thought that I've been having recently about how in high school you have friends, and sometimes like me in high school I had lots of friends that I considered close. Um but after you graduate, since you all go to separate paths, you all go to college, you all go to work, you all, some move out of state, some move out of country, um you just naturally grow apart, which I grew up hearing that from my sisters all the time. They would always tell me how after they graduated, they basically lost over half of the friends that they would talk to at school every day. Because I mean, naturally, you grow up, and I mean, my sisters, they most of their friends now are, they have children, and they're busy, so like you just naturally lose friendships, and not necessarily lose, but you just grow apart, you grow up, and you're how do you say it, like you're oh my gosh, I cannot think, the way you express yourself and the way you think about things, naturally y'all end up separating paths because of beliefs, or just you might not agree on things anymore like you used to, so you don't want to frequent yourself with them anymore, stuff like that. But yeah, so I have lots of friends that I which is the thing that I was talking about, how I feel like a lot of the friendships that I made in high school, even though I don't talk to them like I used to, I feel like I can still see them somewhere, and I still feel comfortable enough to have a conversation with them and sort of in a way express myself the way I would when we went to school together. Because we built that relationship so much for so many years that I feel like that's something that you cannot. Oh, I do have it bookmarked. Oh wow. Um sorry. How you grew up together in high school and sometimes all the way through elementary school, you know, since elementary school, I mean, you've grown up and seen each other grow. So naturally, there's just this bond that you will always have with said people. To sum it all up, I read this poem that is in this book that I felt just correlated perfectly with that. It's called Friendship Nostalgia. It says, I miss the days my friends knew every mundane detail about my life, and I knew every ordinary detail about theirs. Adulthood has starved me of that consistency, that us. The walks around the block, the long conversations when we were too lost in the moment to care what time it was, when we won and we celebrated, when we failed and we celebrated harder, when we were just kids. Now we have our very important jobs that fill up our very busy schedules. We compare calendars just to plan coffee dates that one of us eventually cancels, because adulthood is being too exhausted to leave our apartments most days. I miss knowing I once belonged to a group of people bigger than myself. That belonging made life easier to live. Which, when I read that, I was like, wow, that is so true. Because in high school, you had that group. Maybe a lot of people didn't, but I personally, I had my friend group. And going home every day and knowing that I had that group, almost like a safety net of people that I knew always had my back no matter what brought such a comfort to me. You know, like if I was feeling down, I knew that I had them on my phone on my favorites list and I could give them a call and they'd be there at any given moment. It felt so comforting. It felt like, like it was like you were not alone in the world. But after you graduate, after you lose those friendships, it's like you lose that safety because you you no longer are that close. So you almost feel like if you feel bad about something and you give them a call, you almost feel like you're being a burden because you don't naturally see each other every day, or you don't talk the way you used to. But it felt like such a comfort knowing that you had that friend group. And like it says, it's the last couple of lines that say, I miss knowing I once belonged to a group of people bigger than myself. That belonging made life easier to live. I feel like those lines are what really just resonated with me and really made me think about that. So if you have friends that you haven't spoken to in a while and that you didn't end off on bad terms with, or you just naturally grew apart, give them a text, shoot them a text, give them a call, DM them, be like, hey, want to go out for a coffee date or something, see if you can make that time to sort of in a way rekindle those lost friendships. Even if that coffee date is just that one time that you go out on, or even if that text was the only time you'll ever text again, it still feels nice reaching out, and this goes for if you're listening to this and we graduated together, or we used to talk a lot, and we haven't talked in a while. Know that I am here. Know that I am always here, because we once had that connection. And if we were that close, that's something that you don't lose very easily unless something really crazy happened, But yeah, like I said, I just ramble on and on about lots and lots of things. But I just felt like that's something I wanted to bring up, because I feel like, especially for people our age, I'm 18, so like people my age or around this age group, it feels very easy. It's very easy to get lost in that thought that, oh, nobody cares about me. It's just me, myself, and I in the world. No, there is always people who are looking out for you, who care for you, and who love you and want the best for you at all times. And do remember that the people who will always be there for you is definitely your family. If you have siblings, if you're an only child, I don't know what to tell you because I'm not an only child, but if you have siblings, build those relationships with your siblings. Of course, there are some situations where naturally you have to cut ties with them because it's either too toxic, or they don't accept you for who you are, or stuff like that, But if you have them in your life and you know that they love you and you love them, don't lose that, Go ask your siblings for a little time to hang out, Make that time to go out, get something to eat, or get some board games and play some board games with your family, stuff like that. Little things to bond with people that love you and care about you. Anyways, moving on from that topic, something that I wanted to do that I thought about just today, for this podcast, I would love to look up the word of the day and talk a little bit about that word. I feel like that's something that would be fun. So in high school, I forget what class it was. I can't remember what class it was, but we would watch CNN 10 every Friday. Was it every Friday? I think it was every Friday. And they had like I think it was like the word of the week or something. And we would talk about stuff mentioned in CNN 10. And I really enjoyed that every single week. I think it was sixth period, seventh grade, Miss Harris's class. I think that's what it was. We used to watch CNN 10. If you were in that class, if you know me and you were in that class, you probably remember as well. CNN 10 was the thing in that class. Anyways, so the word of the day for today, January 21st, 2025. Obviously, I'll be uploading this later. Maybe I can try recording these on the same day that I upload them so that they coexist. No, so they correlate with, the actual word of the day. But the word of the day today is kind of random. The word is gourmand. Gourmand. It says what it means. A gourmand is a person who loves and appreciates good food and drink. Gourmand can also refer to someone who enjoys eating and drinking to excess. To an excess or to excess? So basically, me. No. Yeah, so it's a person who loves and appreciates good food and drink. I love and appreciate good food and drink. I have found such a beauty to food recently. And I know that sounds weird, but what I mean is like food in a culture is so beautiful. Like how every culture has their traditional dishes, how every culture has their traditional spices, their traditional drinks. It's just so fascinating to me how different they are, but at the same time, how each culture, their food and dishes almost correlate sometimes, even though they're like on completely different sides of the world, sometimes they have such crazy similarities. But like recently I've been so into Asian cuisine, specifically like Korean cuisine or Japanese cuisine. I have been so appreciative of all of their plates and dishes and spices and drinks. Not too long ago, actually, a couple weeks ago, I think it was like the week after I came back from vacation, I went out to eat with my friend Macy and Megan. We went to this place called HQ Korean Barbecue and Hot Pot. And I had always wanted to do I had always wanted to experience a place like that. Basically, you go in and you have like the little grill in the center, and then everybody has their own little stovetop, and you grill your meats in the center, and you all have your own broths on the side and your noodles, and it feels like a community meal. It feels so rewarding. And then while you're cooking it, and after you cook it and you eat it, you feel so accomplished because you're like, wow, I just cooked that. I didn't order it and it didn't come out already cooked. I cooked that myself. So we went there, and which is actually the same spot that I was going to go eat with my sister and her husband. But then my car decided to have its own problems, so I never went again. But I definitely want to go again because it was so delicious. And that's basically what I tried to kind of in a way recreate that experience tonight for dinner, but obviously it's not the same. So, but I do want to go again. It was so delicious. But another thing I've been wanting to try recently, food related, is it's this new restaurant that just opened nearby. It's called Koyu Ramen, and as the name implies, there's ramen. It's like the ramen that you see in videos that has like the, or in like a Studio Ghibli movie, like it has like the little fish cakes with like the pink swirl, and it's all nicely prepared, and they have like specialty drinks and specialty desserts. um so I really want to try that as well, which leads me also to me wanting to travel to Tokyo, or Korea, like South Korea, is going to those restaurants where like you sit in like those little booths, like the sushi restaurants or like the ramen restaurants, where it's like you have your own little space, like you're separate from everybody else. Like, yeah, you're standing and up, but like it's separated by these little screens, so you eat privately by yourself. I want to go to one of those places because I would have loved that, where nobody's looking at me eat. I'm just eating all the food I want. Um, but yeah, so the word of the day, gourmand, I feel like is really, I think it's fitting. I think it's fitting for today and for some of the topics I talked about, because I talked a lot about food and drink. And on the first one I recorded, I talked a lot about drinks, how I love matcha, how I love drinking water, how I stopped drinking coffee. That's something I talked about in that one as well, how I used to be obsessed in a crazy amount with coffee. But I gave it up a couple months ago. It's almost been like 3.5 months that I haven't been drinking coffee, and I've noticed incredible changes in my lifestyle ever since I stopped drinking it. Um, and I stopped drinking Alani's as well. I used to drink those like crazy. Those are really bad for you if you drink them every single day, because that's where heart problems can start. I love orange juice. Wow, I can go on and on about drinks and food, guys. No, but yeah, I love orange juice. I love my Olipops. Hojicha. Oh my goodness. So basically, hojicha is which if you're looking to try matcha or hojicha, I'll explain hojicha in just a second. But if you're looking to try either of the two, this is not sponsored in any way, but get Nami matcha. I think the hojicha on their website is sold out right now. Bummer. But I still have a tin, so I'm still living off of that one. But Nami, Nami matcha.com is the place to go to get your matcha. It is so delicious. It is one of the best matchas out there. It is owned by Miss Ashley Alexander. She's a influencer YouTuber. She is like matcha connoisseur number one. She knows the ins and outs of matcha. She went all the way to Tokyo and studied all these different kinds of. She went to like different farms to find the perfect one, the perfect harvest, the perfect everything for her company. And the matcha is ceremonial grade, first harvest. It is so freaking good, so delicious. In a nice matcha latte. That is how I drink my matchas. But yeah, so hojicha. Hojicha is it's roasted green tea leaves. So it's what matcha is made of, except they are roasted before they're grinded. So essentially you get, instead of a green powder, you get a brown powder, which once you add it to milk, it looks like you're drinking chocolate milk, but it is so freaking good. The Nami matcha hojicha has like a nutty undertone, and it's like so rich in flavor, especially once you mix it with your oat milk. I use oat milk for my drinks. Oat milk is the way to go. It is so delicious. Once you mix it with oat milk, it is so freaking good. I like to drink it iced hojicha, but right now that it's cold, I've been drinking it hot, and it is so good hot. And it's also so much better if you want a drink in the day that has caffeine, matcha, because it has a higher caffeine content. Obviously, it's not a crazy amount that's bad for you, because it's a green tea leaf. But matcha is better if you drink it in the day. Hojicha, on the other hand, has a lower caffeine content, so it is perfect for like an afternoon, late night drink because it won't keep you up. I did say though on the other episode how I feel like caffeine for me, it just doesn't have that effect on me. It does not. Even Alani's, they never made me feel like more awake. They made me jittery, like really jittery, like I would shake really bad, but they didn't give me they didn't make me feel more awake. But yeah, so I love matcha, I love hojicha. So I think gourmand is such a perfect word of the day for today because we talked a lot about food, about drink. Um I feel like that's about it for today. I mean, I'll definitely think of more like segments and things to talk about every single episode. Obviously I want to keep it entertaining for you guys. I want to change it up every week and talk about different things and definitely give me feedback. Only good feedback, please guys. Do not be mean. I'm just like I just want this podcast to be something you can listen to, like I said, on your drives, if you're laying around, chilling at home, if you're doing chores, if you're doing laundry, if you're washing dishes, stuff like that, something that can get your mind off things, something that hopefully I'll try to make you laugh every now and then. Um but yeah, so like if you enjoy the word of the day, definitely let me know. If you want to see something else, like if you want to hear about different things, um if you have any topics that you want me to talk about, I definitely do. Like I said earlier, I want to bring on special guests. By special guests I mean friends of mine. So if you know me and you're listening to this and you would like to possibly have a sit and chat with me at some point, let me know and I can we can pull up to the park or we can pull up to like a coffee shop, connect the mics and have a conversation, do a little podcast episode. But yeah, I would love to, have special guests come on here. I feel like that would be so fun. But I mean, that is about it for today. Again, I'm not sure about the name. I'm thinking about cut the mic. Cut the mic. I feel like that's cool. I feel like that's nice. If you have better name recommendations, definitely throw them in the comments or shoot me a DM or a text. Be like, "Hey, this name would get you numbers." Um but yeah, so that is about it for today, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this little chat that I had with you guys. I hope you found something interesting in this. I hope that you were able to distract yourself for a little bit. I hope I was able to lighten up your mood if you were feeling a little down or something. But yeah, that is about it for today. Again, my name is Leo Tafoya. I am so excited to be starting this. This is I'm having a lot of fun doing this because I get to talk for a while and just get my mind off things, debrief, do a little weekly debrief, and it's almost like my own little digital journal. But yeah, so anyways, I hope you guys have a great day or night, whatever time you're listening to this, whenever it is, whatever day it is. Yeah. All right. Bye.